Hello, everyone. I am Ivan Rodrigues. Thank you for joining us today, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome all of you to the Economic Times virtual roundtable on the theme, Amplifying Your Company's Brand with Customer Service. This session is powered by ServiceNow. Customer and client expectations are at an all-time high, and they are only turning to those that can meet all of their needs, listen to their concerns, address them, and provide them with the best possible outcome. If you are unable to do so, you are already eliminated from the competition. While service and experience are what creates a brand, the inherent risk for firms today is not fulfilling rising customer expectations. There are a variety of tools and resources available to help you generate business results and achieve success faster. A functional and user-friendly support portal can help you stay connected, provide smooth interactions, and customize your support experience. While organizations in the same industry compete, the focus of these enterprises should be on providing the greatest client experience. Although businesses all around the world have already hopped on board, you can't afford to fall behind by failing to fulfill client expectations. This entails minimizing redundancy in your end-to-end client experience using current technologies like AI and machine learning, being more personalized, and being more adaptable. With all of this in place, you can outperform your competition, build client loyalty, and increase profitability. In today's session on the theme, Amplifying Your Company's Brand with Customer Service, we will touch upon some important points such as ways to provide innovative technology and services to customers, meeting customer expectations for a frictionless experience, ways to reward customers for their loyalty, how to improve operational productivity, empowering customer service teams, and technology adoption versus personalization. We have a prestigious panel to take you through today's session, and so without further ado, it is an honor and privilege for me to welcome the esteemed members of this power-packed panel. Aneet, Chaku, Head Customer Service, Asia Pacific, Middle East and Africa at Apollo Tyres. Rajesh C, Head Customer Service Planning and Strategies, General Manager at LG India. VR Sharma, Managing Director at JINDAL Steel and Power. Kushagra Goswami, Senior Solutions Specialist, Customer Workflows at ServiceNow. Ashwani Nandini, Senior Vice President and Head Delivery Assurance at GlobalLogic. Kunal, Anand, Chief Operations and Customer Services Officer at Aviva Life Insurance Company Limited. Sanjay Singal, Chief Operating Officer at ITC Limited, and Anish Ahuja, Vice President Service at Whirlpool of India. This session will be moderated by TK Arun, former resident editor, Economic Times. I now invite TK Arun to take it from here. Over to you, TK.
Thank you, Ivan. Now, being a journalist who rarely comes across a customer, that is a reader, in the flesh, I had always had an idea that customer service is a utilitarian function. You have a problem, you call up customer service, you get it solved, the matter all. Until many years ago, my monitor conked out. It was a Samsung monitor. I called customer service. The guy came over. He did not ask me for a bill, which I was dreading because I'm not very careful about my paperwork on maintaining bills and warranty cards and all that. He just scanned the barcode on that monitor. He determined on his own that this is fully within the warranty period, and he replaced that monitor. My idea about Samsung as a company, went up three notches. So how you deal with your customer service can certainly be something that builds your brand. But today, that was many years ago. Today, things have changed. The customers' requirements have evolved. For example, a lot of young customers are very concerned about the environment, about climate change. They are very concerned about the social and governance aspect of the companies whose products they consume. They don't want something, a shoe made by somebody who employs slave labor in some poor developed country. They don't care to have a company whose corporate governance practices, workplace policies on sexual harassment, etc. disappoint them. So what traditionally would have been considered internal corporate governance issues, brand image, etc., now sort of overlap with the customer's perception of the company, and therefore have some bearing on customer service. And then, of course, now you have a whole range of modern technological tools to ensure that a company is able to deal with the customers and maintain that relationship and deliver the desired end result in a very productive fashion. Now, as Ivan introduced the panelists, we have a diverse set of people, some in services, some in products, some in FMCG. Sanjay is in FMCG. There are 2 product companies and one hardcore, basic goods steel producer. How they view this problem, this diverse set of people deal their own roles in customer service should be of interest to all of us. Now, we'll go by the alphabetical order. I would request every panelist to devote 2.5 minutes as an opening statement of what they understand by using customer service to amplify their brand. And then we'll go to more specific issues. We'll go in the alphabetical order. Can I ask Mr. Aneet Chaku to kick off the discussion?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Arun, and thank you, Ivan. And pleased to be here. I also welcome all my panelists. Look forward to hearing from them and, of course, learning. Mr. Arun, I agree with you. I think at its very core now, having spent time in hospitality, in telecom, and now in manufacturing and products, service has gone beyond just being about the turnaround times and the satisfaction scores, or just about complaint management that you illustrated, has also become much better. I think it's at its very fundamental core, at its very being, it's about bringing that customer into the building, because as we grow higher in organizations across functions, we get further away from our customers. It's the frontline guy who gets to interact with customers, and we are sitting far above. So I think that if we ensure that happens, I think that's a great amount of service that we would do both for our internal stakeholders as well as for our customers. And having said that, across industries, I think service has now evolved to ensure that both marketing and other functions internally understand what is the interplay between price and value, the whole customer value management, the price and the value equation that is there in the marketplace. Is that good? Is that bad? How is the competition? How is your internal product versus competition? Now, this could be true for hospitality. This could be true for telecom, and this could be also true for in the tire business. That, of course, is one. And more importantly, also, given the age that we live in, how do we ensure that we reduce the cognitive overload? How do we make it easy for our customers to use our products, to interact with our products, to make sure that they get the best value out of our products? So at Apollo Tires, for example, what does service fundamentally do? One, of course, is that it's a high ticket product. So we make sure that we continue to track the price value ratio vis-a-vis competition and vis-a-vis the expectation of the customers, build strong relationships, and ensure that the cognitive overload is reduced. They're able to use the right product for the right application and therefore achieve and get the best out of the product. So I think that is a bit of an evolution on the service that I see. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, could I ask Anish Ahuja of Whirlpool?
Yeah, hi. Thanks, Arun, and thanks, Aneet, for a great, insightful thoughts on what is changing and how things are evolving for us as consumer and for us as an industry as professional. And the fact we are having this discussion on the role of service in amplifying brands, it clearly states that service is not an afterthought anymore. Gone are those days where we would think that service is an afterthought. Let's design the product. Let's look at the pricing. Let's look at the advertisement. And by the way, service will be taken care of by its own. But now I think we're into their space where service cannot be an afterthought. It is now becoming integral part of the entire brand proposition. And I being a consumer service professional for a very long time, I really looking up to this moment where we've longed when the customer or the service will play an integral part in defining the brand. I think this is a moment which is really getting true for the people like us in the service industry for a very long time, where we becoming an integral part of the organization in terms of defining what the brand stands for. Whirlpool is an appliance company. We are into different product categories, and every product category, consumers have different expectations from the brand. You may wait for 2 days not washing your clothes because your washing machine is down, but you just can't sleep one night without an air conditioner. And you just can't live with your RO not being working for a couple of hours. So the way the product and the associated needs along with them is evolving is really defining the proposition, how you're trying to support the consumer in their times of need. The other thing which is also Arun, which I'm experiencing as a customer, as a professional, that the entire landscape of service is changing. Earlier, the way we used to define service is how I just better my nearest competitor. But now it's not about our nearest competitor. The entire ecosystem of service is changing. Customers are experiencing service from banks, from the telecom companies, from Amazon, Flipkart, insurance companies. They are benchmarking the services of those companies and expecting different companies to meet that kind of an experience. So a traditional definition of competition is diminishing. Today, my service has to be at par with the experience which Amazon, Flipkart, or Ubers are giving, or Zomato, Swiggy, Zomato are giving. So when it comes to a product space, you know who your nearest competitor is, because the product company, a refrigerator competitor is a refrigerator brand. But when it comes to services, the competition landscape is changing and it's evolving very, very fast. The other thing which I'm also realizing is the attention span of the customer is really reducing. In our kind of an industry where where the lifespan of a product is 5 to 7 years, you don't buy refrigerators every day, or you don't buy a refrigerator every year. You buy it once in 7 to 10 years. How do you keep the moment of excitement alive during that time, so that when you're in the market next time, the top of the mind to you is Whirlpool brand? Or when you're in the market to buy another product, how we ensure that the Whirlpool is on top of the mind of the consumer. So we get very limited time to make a very impactful experience. Whether it's a point of installation, whether it's a point of service, those 30 minutes in the 5 years will decide how the customer is going to perceive the brand, and then whether they want to continue with the brand or not. The other thing also is that with the increase in internet, we have really seen the power of reviews. Globally, the reviews and the rating of the product is a big thing. India, this theme is really picking up. Today people have a click of a button, they can publish anything on the brand. They can share their experiences. You may not necessarily be present in one market, but the experience already reaches that market. So it's really very critical in terms of how you handle those consumers and ensure that they are always happy with you. And if they're not sharing bad news, in a way it's good news. So because the power of internet is so strong these days, where people can things can just explode off just a click of a button. So I guess what I'm saying is that so it's really evolving. It's evolving very fast.
Now let me come to you, Ashwani, Nandini. What are your thoughts on?
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. And so glad to be part of this esteemed panel. And see, as my role as head delivery assurance, my job is to enable delivery to be predictable in their deliveries. And because that is what is going to ensure customer delight. And I think, some of you mentioned that today the brand can be spoiled in no time, right? Just a couple of bad reviews and your brand for your company or for your product can go for a toss. And the industry that I come from, we don't directly interact with the end consumer all the time. We usually develop a product or a platform for our customer, who ultimately gives it to their end customers. So what we do, design, customer centricity is at the center of everything that we do. So when we are designing, when we are thinking about a product or a platform, we make sure that our design arms are equally involved. When our design arms, they talk to the customer, understand their pain points, understand what their end customers would want, and then work with our engineering teams use technology to transform that into reality. So, usually these things take about 5 to 6 months. And so we co-create with our customers. We are very deeply engaged with them because, it's not like a consumer business where you immediately get your feedback. This is a journey. So we have to be very, very deeply engaged with our customer, very deeply understand the pain point, deeply understand their business, and then work towards creating something which is at the cusp of what the business wants, how it can be designed, and how technology can enable it. So unless we develop something which is in the cusp of all the three, we are just not going to be able to delight the customer. So that's my take on how our industry reacts to this.
Yeah. Now coming to Mr. Anand, insurance is a very hardcore case for customer service. Please.
Thank you, Arun. Thank you. And I think you touched the right chord. Insurance, it's actually a black box. And therefore, before I delve further, I would want to articulate myself in 3 different parts to try and explain what the problem is. In the first part, I'll try and cover what servicing implies for us in the insurance business. What is its linkage to the brand? That would be the second part. And therefore, what is our bespoke solutions to try and tailor make those? So first and foremost, insurance. Insurance is the risk of covering risks. And risk could be both the risk of dying too young or the risk of living too long. And I stress on that because when you see the risk of dying too young at an early age and risk of living too long at a long age, therefore our contracts are very, very long-term in nature, starting from anywhere between 10, 15, 20 years, could last up to 50, 60, 70 years as well. And the importance of that long-term contract is, therefore, you need to have the trust of the customer maintained over a long-term period. And to be able to do that, you need to engage with the customer very frequently and keep engaging year on year, every half year, if possible, so that he keeps his contract in place. Otherwise, there's a chance of him missing the contract and there's a financial loss because of that. So our purpose itself is the purpose of our organization. It says it all. With you today for a better tomorrow. And that is what we are trying to achieve. So that in a sense is what insurance does. And we see our role as a financial doctor. When I use the word doctor, it's not an MBBS doctor, but essentially we also try and analyze the situation of a customer, the financial situation of a customer, and we tailor make our advices to suit what the customer wants. And therefore our advisory services are very tailor-made, very customized. And that's where the trust element again comes in. And that helps us in building the brand that we have. The other thing I would want to touch upon is, for us, the moment of truth is at the time of paying the claims. So if you have invested your money and left it with us for 10, 15, 20, 25 years, at times it could be that even you may not be around and your family members and your nominees are there. How do we handle that situation? And that situation at times could be painful as well. And because of that, a lot of emotions are involved. And hence our customer services has to be very empathetic in nature. When we interact with certain set of customers, we have to deal with empathy. We have to give them the trust and the confidence that yes, we are there. While we cannot undo the financial loss which that might have caused, but we cannot undo the emotional loss, but still the financial loss we can try and recoup to some extent. And that has to be a very empathetic and a very, very emotional conversation at the same time. The third thing I would want to just highlight here is our target customer segment. And our target customer segment here, which will help us define our brand as well. These are largely for us young 25 to 45-year-old customers, well-read, largely in the metros and capital cities and the 8-tier cities. And therefore, their request and their demand is also a lot of servicing elements have to be digital. And hence a lot of focus in Aviva India here for us to have digital first as a core strategy of our organization. And so these are the elements that I think is what we do to try and achieve our servicing aspects. Yeah. Now, what this has led us to do is our approach to customer services. So in our business, customer referral is also very important. And any happy customer, any good customer leads to 5 more, maybe 10 more as well. And therefore, keeping all the customers that we have happy, satisfied is equally important. And we try to create a customer wow wherever. Now, to be able to do this, our organizational values are also aligned to that. And just to name of the 4 core values that we have, we want to care more for our customers. So care more is a value that we, as an organization, we use. Another value is we never rest. So we do our best so that the customer has to face minimum challenges, minimum problems. We would want to kill complexity. And when I say that, we want to make customers' experience as frictionless, as seamless, as easy, and we take all the pain, all the burden, and so on and so forth. And we want to create a long-term legacy for the customer so that once he walks away from us after 20, 25, 30 years, is a happy, satisfied person, and so on and so forth. So these are some of the core values that we adhere to, and that helps us achieve some of our customer goals. Yeah. So Mr. Arun, hopefully I've been able to try and explain and jargon this black box.
Yeah, thank you. Now, Kushagra.
Yeah, hi, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Before I really give my thoughts on customer experience, I really want to be thanking everybody for coming together and having this discussion. Extremely privileged to be part of this august house that we have here. I work with a company called ServiceNow. I work as a technical consultant with them, and I joined this organization almost 2 years back. Thinking that we are at the tip of providing best services to the market, and we should be adding similar values to the rest of the industries, rest of the verticals, rest of the people around, and make them benefit as well in the same way as we are benefiting and the other organizations are benefiting. But when I really joined this organization, I was thinking, this is, we all understand servicing is, it's a concept of engaging with your customers and trying to solve their problem of what they're wanting to do. But a little bit of perspective change when I really started using the platform, and I started really understanding how things are happening in the world. The first thing that came into notice was that, of course, the servicing journey has changed. And for India specifically, which is a service-based economy, almost 55% of our economy is coming from services. Service becomes an extremely important part for us. And in order to maintain those services, top class is the differentiation that we're bringing out for all the brands, and everybody is competing on that space. I heard Anish also talk about it in the same manner, that we are competing on the servicing front on all verticals, on all industries, and everything around. But the stark difference that has come up is people have tried to bring in various tools, thoughts, processes, and try to map them together So like if I have to give an analogy, people have tried to bring the head of a horse, the strength of a tiger, the wings of an eagle, the grip of a hawk, and then try and provide customer experience, thinking that we'll be able to fly at our best. And here's a different way of what I learned that we can do. You can have one purpose-built platform which can help you provide that entire journey that you're trying to experience in a smooth way, in a smoother and a simpler way. I'll be sharing more examples of how exactly we can do that. But just to give you a little bit of information why this thought process came in, I read a small article in Forbes which talked about ServiceNow being as one of the most innovative platform. This was back in 2018, and then it's been repeating ever since. How this organization has really brought the customers into the building that Aneet talked about. How are we making sure that customer lies in the center while the rest of the processes and everything are being focused on them, and at the same point of time maintain the growth of not only the organization themselves but also of the brands that they're partnering with. So just to give you a little bit of glimpse, ServiceNow is growing up more than 30% year on year, and obviously in certain geographies even faster than that. India as a country, we've doubled on all aspects, with the headcounts, with the revenue, with the number of logos we are working with, and few of the names that I've heard in this panel discussions. I'm trying to say that yes, most of these organizations are already working with ServiceNow and improving their service aspect of it. Mr. Arun, that's what I have to share to begin with, and maybe I'll talk more over some more aspects.
Thank you. Now, Rajesh.
Yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you, Mr. Arun, for inviting us. As everyone told, now the expectation of customer, even in the consumer durable industry, it is not a service, it is not solving his problem, but it is his experience. The customers are expecting a flawless experience in taking care of his products and then his after sales service. So in LG, we are very particular on to that. We are really focusing on these areas, mainly through the technological advantage what we have. For example, we have the smart TVs. The service of that smart TVs can be taken control from our call center itself. So with the customer consent, we take that no control of the smart TV, and then we can check what exactly the settings and how they are using it. So based on that, we can able to give some kind of a solutions to those customers. So similarly, even the non-smart products, we have the video consultations through which the customer can get the benefit of checking what exactly the problem and how we can able to solve this. So what I'm trying to say is, yes, the experience of the customers makes the real no difference. So we are very keen on taking care of that. Even our products are designed in such a way that for example, if you take our inverter ACs, it comes with smart diagnosis systems. So the engineer can go to the customer place, he can use his jig, and he can able to diagnose the things in a better way. He can able to see the data of how the product has performed in last 24 hours or 48 hours. And based on their data, he can able to analyze the issues, and then he can able to resolve that problem in a more accurate way. So by this, we are trying to create more better experience to the customers. Some of our products are having the service indicators, like the water purifier will have an indication that when the customer has to replace the filters, or our window inverter ACs will give an indication of about the filter cleaning duration or time. And our washing machines have some kind of a tub cleaning. The once that time is over, then it will give an indication to give the customers that the tub clean has to happen. So these kind of innovative products are helping the service also in much better way to have the customer's experience in a better way. And we also focus on the efficiency part. The big challenge, as Mr. Anish has told, that is the since LG is having the wide range of products, training these engineers in the multi-skilling is a very key aspect. So by training them, we are able to improve the productivity, which is helping the company to achieve more productives. So this way, we are in the service industry. We are trying to have many innovative ideas. So this is how I want to introduce ourselves, and we'll take the next sessions on this further.
Thank you. Now coming to Mr. Sanjay Singal from ITC, who will have a tough time explaining how customer service is done for FMCG goods.
Yeah, so good afternoon and thanks to Economic Times. So, I was just thinking, Mr. Arun, that we have other esteemed panelists. Somebody selling a television, somebody selling a tire, somebody selling an insurance policy. We from ITC Foods, we are selling packaged food, 5 rupees ka biscuit or 1 rupee ka toffee, and maybe 100 rupees ka Ashirwad atta. So what does customer service mean in that context? Honestly speaking, I mean, we sell our products through some 4 million outlets in the country. And those outlets are then going and selling a biscuit or a noodle or a packet of milk to consumers there. So that consumer honestly does not want me to now start calling that consumer. Imagine you're buying a 10 rupee biscuit of Sunfeast. Would you want me to call you and ask you how your experience was? So that's not what customer service in my industry is about. To my mind, customer service in a FMCG industry, especially in a food or even a personal care industry, is about consistency. A consumer is buying an Ashirwad atta this month and making rotis at her house. She wants the same quality of moisture, of whiteness, of whatever, of roti the next month and the month after and the month after and the year after. So to my mind, in my FMCG business, service is about consistency of the same promise of quality and packaging and proposition and advertising being delivered month after month, year after year. And that is why I guess there is so much, premium being paid if you look at valuations on FMCG valuations. It's like a factor of revenue rather than a factor of profitability. Right? So if I was to think about it, because I mean, obviously I'm not selling, when you're selling a 20 rupee ka juice, 20 rupee juice packet. So, that is that's one level of it, right? Which is consistency. The second level of customer service, I think, is that, we sell a biscuit, but we sell 20 types of biscuits. So our customer service is not about customization of one type of biscuit. It is that you sell 10 types of biscuits, chocolate biscuit, strawberry biscuit, Marie, or a dark fantasy. And all of them are customized in a customer service way to that unique customer taste or customer occasion or customer type. So to my mind, that is what customer service in a FMCG industry will be, unlike a FMCD or any other industry.
Thank you. Now coming to Mr. Sharma, how does a steel company use customer service to enhance its branding? You have to unmute yourself. Mr. Sharma, you have to unmute yourself. You're on mute. On the bottom left of the screen, there is a mic. You click on it, only then you'll see it. You put your cursor on the screen. On the bottom left, there's that mic symbol. You have to click on that.
So I can try again, sir.
Yes, now it is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, because I was getting that the host has unmuted me. So it's all right. Thank you.
Yeah.
So good. Thank you very much. I listened, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. This is a wonderful conference. We are talking on customer services. Yes, I agree. The unwritten agreements, these are the bindings on business today. When we speak, they are inbuilt, and the customer always expects that the best is yet to come. And it is like, it is like a marriage in between two persons. I mean, we don't write when we get engaged and when we start living together after having the marriage done. we don't write that what wife will do and what husband will do. So this is understood, and that is a compatibility. And sometimes we develop that compatibility if it is not there. So the same thing is in between customer and the supplier. So we have to find out that we don't have to write anything. There's no dispute at all. And these are well understood, whether it is Mr. Singal has given the example of biscuit. Yes, time and again, or Ashirvad Atta, time and again, or it is LG, or they have given their own experience. Yes, I agree. Or it is Whirlpools or Apollo tires. Now I'll tell you that what steel industry does. We supply that is refrigerators manufacturers, washing machine manufacturers, also tire manufacturers. A tire consumes, like if it is radial tire, truck bus, TBR we call, truck bus radials, we supply at least in one tire 15 kg of wire that goes in tire as a tire bead. We supply for each refrigerator from as low as 12 kilo to 20 kilo of steel, and other than the compressor. So when we supply to refrigerators, washing machine is about 12 kg, the air conditioner is about 22 kg. So this is what we supply them when we supply them. And in a car ranging from 800 kg to 2000 kg. So this is the steel components or the steel total consumption in any and the items. So when we make steel, we take care that ultimately my customer, for example, if my customer is a refrigerator manufacturer or a washing machine manufacturer or a tire manufacturer, he or my customer does not face any problem on account of my product. And finally, my customer loses the business. If he loses the business, I lose my business. So the ingredients are many in a tire, for example. But we know that all 30, 40, 50 tons, whatever the truck is carrying, a substantial load is taken by the reinforced steel in the tire. When we supply panels for the refrigerator, it is either a body panel or the front door. We see that because it used to be 0.63 millimeter thickness in good old times, we brought it down to 0.35. And when we brought it down to 0.35 millimeter, when we were discussing with the team in Whirlpool, LG, Voltas, Electrolux, we discussed with them bringing down by value engineering, but maintaining the same strength so that from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, when you transport your refrigerators, whether from Faridabad unit or Jangaon unit or from a Noida unit, then you will not find any dent on it. And will reduce your cost by at least 30% so that you can pass it on to your customers, and finally you sell more number of units and your customer is happy because he or she will get the same strength of door what she was getting 0.63 millimeter thickness. This is called value engineering and value addition. When we find a right balance engineering and value addition, then we reach to a level that yes, my customer is going to win this particular product in market in a different way. And when he or she gets more business, that means the business comes to us. So we always feel the customer always expect that the best is yet to come. But the moment we start working on a reverse engineering, that the best is yet to be delivered, that is the time.
Yeah.
We don't have to see best is yet to come. We have to find best is yet to be delivered. When we say that best is, we will do continuous improvement. When we say that we have very fast service, I believe in a different theory. I say, what is the need of service? It should be fit and forget. If there is an item for 20 years lifespan, for 20 years, why the services are required 20 times? Maybe a preventive measure, maybe a preventive maintenance after 2, 3, 4, 5 years, but not on every day. So we have to develop the reliability. I agree with Mr. Singal when he says that the household lady, she always expects the chapatis from Ashirvad Atta month on basis with the same ingredients, same moisture level, same taste and same whiteness. I like this. This is what we have to do. If the Apollo tire is fitted in a vehicle, then the people should feel, the driver should be confident enough that this tire is going to take me miles and miles without any trouble. It is refrigerator or washing machine or anything. So we have to find out how we can create the best. So this is my point.
Thank you. Now we have actually 19 minutes left. We don't really have a whole lot of time. Now, many of you had expressed interest in elaborating on how you use technology and innovation to enhance a customer's experience. Now, from what you heard, also understand that this is not just an opportunity. The prevalence of technology and communications can also work against your brand reputation. If somebody leaves a negative comment somewhere on the social media and that circulates and comes out to haunt you. So you need a better communication. That also becomes part of enhancing your customer experience. And you do need to use technology for the purpose of, the specific, your company specific, product specific, service specific customer service. And also you need technology to ensure that this reputational advantage that you have to a larger public and not confined to the particular customer who experiences that. Now, I would again like to go from the, we come from the reverse order? Mr. Sharma, please, why don't you start? How do you use technology to enhance your company's reputation and customer service? Consistency, of course, is a very good thing. You said you will deliver it before people expect. So what is the technology that you have in hand which you will use to improve your customers' experience and improve your brand? Briefly, you don't know much time. Briefly, you have to unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yeah, you can hear.
Yeah, good. Thank you. Thank you so much. You see, when we start working on value addition and value engineering, what we do today, there are two another issues in the world. One is how to address the CO2 emission issue, how to address the global warming issue. Like we have been using the fossil fuel all through. Now we are working on different technologies, like for example, coal to gas. We were using coal directly into our furnaces. There, the efficiency level is only 30 or 32%. Now we are working that how to convert this energy from up to level of 95%. So we do the coal gasification. We produce coal to syngas. Syngas contains about 58% of hydrogen and 28% carbon monoxide. So this 58% hydrogen, that plays a very significant role in reducing the overall emission levels and also reducing the overall cost. So our purpose is that how can we produce steel at the lowest cost? Today, we are working, how can we inject more and more oxygen in our blast furnaces? How can we produce from hydrogen to DRI to electric arc furnaces and make steel, refined steel? How can we produce hydrogen from coal to hydrogen? How can we produce hydrogen from green energy? Green energy means from solar or from wind, and then utilize this green energy to produce hydrogen and hydrogen as a fuel. So this is what we are working now. So it is indirectly, we are helping the last mile customer of our intermediate customers. So last mile customer means there are two ways. One is we are controlling the environmental issues. Number two, we are capturing the carbon, that is CCS through the CCS route. And number three, we are reducing the cost. Because when we keep on working, we keep on harping the cost reduction. That means we'll be in a position to sell more number of units. The other area is, as I told you earlier, our basic purpose is not to produce more steel. Our purpose is to produce value-added steel, high-strength steel, but quantity should be less. For example, we have given the Indian Railway now a special rail that is called head-hardened 1175. The Indian Railway, they are operating the goods trains at a 28 kilometers to 30 kilometers an hour. So we have developed a product which they can run their trains at 70 to 80 kilometers an hour. So you don't have to put another tracks. Yeah. You have to have a different track altogether. So you use less tonnage of steel, but your life is better. This is
Thank
what
you,
we are
Sanjay.
doing nowadays.
Yeah, thank you. Now, Rajesh, how do you use technology from
That's what
at
actually
least on
as
the
I
divisions or from your own experience?
actually we use technology to ensure our engineers are able to diagnose the problem, are able to resolve the customer issues faster, quicker, and more accurate way. So as I told you, the diagnosis jigs and the products which is coming up with the technology, it automatically gives an indication of what exactly the problem, or those kind of inputs are given to the engineers, through which they were able to resolve the issues more accurately to the customers. So that way we are using our technology to benefit the service.
Apple uses its brand, its Apple, store, official Apple store itself as a major brand building exercise. It's a customer experience they're selling. And the way the customers come there, either to buy or to get something serviced, that itself is a technological experience. So the way technology is used is changing from specific function specific, product specific users to overall radiate your brand's, sort of relevance and brightness and effulgence. So this is also, I think, something that somehow tends across sectors and businesses. Now, could I ask Kushagra, you specialize in workflow management and helping companies to, how are you using technology for this?
Thank you, Arun. And a very interesting perspective from Mr. Sharma and as well as Rajesh on this. I'll just like to highlight that ServiceNow is definitely helping a lot of it. It is a technology. It's the backbone on which many organizations are building up more innovative ways of servicing their customers. And we definitely believe in bringing our own champion. So we also service our own customers using our own technology, wherein we are bringing everybody on a single platform to, be it the customer, be it your middle office, be it your back office, promoting more and more, self-service as a feature, or as a channel to service your customers. But one or two more interesting examples is where organizations have approached ServiceNow or similar organizations and talked about, hey, we have an aging field force. How do we make sure that the knowledge and expertise that these guys have, how can we put it back into the system so that the young generation can learn faster from them, or at least take the help of these SMEs sitting remotely and deliver the same experience that these guys have been delivering, because they have helped us build this brand up till this point. So very interesting conversations we had with Xerox, where they were trying to combine two different field organizations, and they came out with the concept of, okay, let's use virtual engagement. Let's use augmented reality as one of the ways of servicing our customers. If something goes down, I don't need a field agent to quickly run to that place. Can I remotely try and resolve the issue? If not, if a new person is joining who's nearest to the location, can my SME using virtual reality or augmented reality help them to pinpoint what they need to do in order to fix that? And all of this is happening because of the customer experience changes that even Mr. Anish pointed out at the beginning. If you look at the entire buying journey, and I'll just take 30 more seconds and I'll pass it on back to you, Mr. Arun, for this. If you look at the entire buying journey of all individuals, of all brands, there's been a stark difference here. Gone is the time when people used to, when the brands used to just acquire the customer and monetize them. There are two more levers that have been involved. One is the engagement and one is the enlistment. So now the brand needs to work on acquiring them, engaging with them, then monetizing them, and then after monetization, enlisting their experiences. And that's the whole point that even you were mentioning about reviews. In today's time, where people are using social media as a huge channel, and obviously that's one channel which everybody uses extensively, but we have no control over it. Today you are on the top, tomorrow you may just go down or have some issue that may prompt up. So you need to own certain communication channels where you can enhance your peer-to-peer support, where you can enhance your enlistment of the good work that you're doing, because there are very few people talking about the good work you've done, and there's a lot of people who are talking about all the kind of misses that may have happened because of technology or because of process or anything else. So that's where ServiceNow comes in and gives you a proper platform, a single platform where you're able to not only engage with your customers but enlist their experiences, enhance your revenues out of them by increasing the pocket wallet of share in their pocket, and also service them by bringing your front, middle, and back offices all together. That's how ServiceNow is using the technology and empowering various brands across the globe in doing the same.
Thank you, Kushagra. Now, Mr. Kunal, insurance is as I said, customer interface very, very, very special. However, I find that the way you deploy your funds, that is somehow not seen to be part of engagement or customer's experience. After all, consistency of the product, as many people said, is an integral part of building your brand experience and the customer's experience. For an insurance company, how you utilize the premium that you collect to generate better returns for the client, for the customer, how is that not a vital part of the engagement and communication? Why would you see it's something also that's separate?
Sure, sir. I'll also try and cover the digital aspect that you had asked earlier. So as I said earlier, the digital is the core of one of our strategic pillars. And before I proceed further to answer your question, I just want to share a few use cases that we have used for the customers. So for example, in the times of COVID, when stepping out was extremely difficult and people were afraid to step out, etc., we found solutions which would make the customer onboarding journey almost paperless, touchless, frictionless. So from moving to earlier 50% customer onboarding through online means, we moved to almost 100% customer onboarding online. And this was entirely at the time of COVID, etc. Another use case that I can try and share with you, what we also try to do, as I said earlier, claims is the moment of truth for us. And we tried to find a digital solution where a claim could be settled within 30 minutes of customer coming to our branch. And that again was almost an industry first and much appreciated all across. A third use case I'll leave with you and for everyone here to understand. We all understand that senior citizens have to, for their annuity payment, they have to submit an existence certificate, a life certificate. And typically, because of the age, not everyone is so digitally savvy and they struggle, especially in the COVID period, that how to go to a branch, etc., etc. Again, we found a solution. We said all you have to do is take a photograph of yours with the newspaper, the current newspaper of the day, and share that photograph with us on WhatsApp. And that is proof enough for us that the person is alive. And these are some of the solutions that we use to simplify what the customer expects. And I believe all of these, some use cases that I shared have gone very well with the customer. To your specific question on investments, how do we?
I think perhaps we can skip that now because we have time. And
all right.
Like others also too.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Now, Ashwani, when you use technology, you're also vulnerable to malicious technology being used against you. If you are using technologies to deploy your personnel to meet customer service, or if you are using an avatar to engage, this is vulnerable to malicious software or software malfunction. How can your company or how do you propose to help with this?
Yeah, so being in the digital product engineering services space, we have no option but to invest very heavily in technology. So we do have our technology offices and our practice offices where we invest heavily, and we have a practice area for almost every digital disruptive technology that you can think of, whether it's BI, AI, ML, analytics, cloud, DevOps, etc. And this team is usually involved whenever we have a customer project. They are the ones who tell us what is the right accelerator, the right security practices, the right security principles, how we have to design so that, to your question of how do we ensure that we are designing a very secure system, because that's very, very critical in today's times. And in terms of innovation for our customer, we very recently, I just want to give an example. We did a virtual hackathon for one of our customers in the BFSI space. And we just took the themes, the problem areas for them, and we opened it to the entire software industry. We got thousands and thousands of ideas, and we used a third-party platform to filter through all of that. and pick up the top 50 and then the top 30. And the customer not just got some of the ideas for futuristic, but also some of the ideas which were very painful for them, solutions for them. And we just got the customer to be part in terms of the theme and in terms of the jury. And most of it is part of their product roadmap. And that is one way of customer service, going above and beyond what they're looking for. So that's what we did. I'm just keeping it short in the interest of time. There are lots of examples, but I just want to give time for everybody else.
Yeah, thank you. Anish, at Whirlpool, how do you use technology?
So Arun, we use the role of technology in three different ways. One is the technology in the call center, then technology in our field service, then technology in our backend of the operations. Technology in the call center is used to really identify who the customer is, where they're calling from, how their association with the brand has been in terms of are they multi-product users, or they are previous dissatisfied customers, or they're calling from top cities with different kind of product categories. So that's one kind of a technology usage which we have, which enables the right kind of agent to handle the consumer. Because we have a large call center, and it becomes very difficult to train all the people for all the products all the time. So it's very important that we use technology to route the right consumer to the right agent, so that they're able to really understand the consumer and handle their concern. Second technology which we use in terms of the field operations. Now, field operations, where we're looking at the engineer productivity, the service network productivity. The third is in terms of how do we then manage technology in terms of taking the right business decisions. So the whole BW in terms of the data points, where are the opportunities for us to drive efficiency, where are the opportunities are there for driving productivity. Those are the kind of technology tools which you use in the back end. So three fronts, which is call center, field service, in the back end of the operation.
Thank you. You're short and crisp. Now coming to Aneet.
Thank you, Mr. Arun. Like what Anish said, again, it's three-pronged for us. For us, the cake is the product. 70% of what we do is about the product. So the service teams works very, very closely, collates voice of the customer on technology platform, goes across stakeholders and feeds that into marketing and R&D to understand what is the quality of our current products and what is the expectation of the products that are required by the customers in the future from a price value perspective. The second one, of course, is how best to use then therefore these products, because it's a technology product. It needs to be fit into right application so that the customer gets the best value. So that's where we put in a lot of our technology in terms of understanding the inflation, application, load index, all of those elements, vehicle configuration, where it's flying, all of that. And thirdly, of course, and more importantly, is about once an issue comes about, then how do we empower, how do we enable market stakeholders, right from our distribution network to our fitters, to our field engineers, to be able to resolve that issue for the customer in the shortest possible time and give a better resolution to the customer. So this is the three ways we look at it. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm afraid that we don't really have time to go deeper and more broadly into this very interesting subject. But what is very clear is that things are blurring between the quality and consistency of the product or the service and the customer experience and how that is to be achieved. Secondly, I would think that this entails a whole lot of training of personnel. If you want to use technology to help your engineers or customer service professionals to satisfy the customers, then those people need to be trained properly to appreciate the technology, understand the technology, and to deploy it and utilize it properly. Thirdly, when you need to send somebody over to customer premises, that person needs to behave properly in a way that the people in the household, or people in the office appreciate it. If you come with your dirty backpack and put it on your customer's bed, because that is the most convenient place from where to access the AC, it doesn't go down very well with the customer. There's a whole lot of soft skills are also required, apart from the hard engineering skills that are required. So I would think that we will need to have a paradigm shift in how we not only conceptualize customer service and use technology, whatever available technology tools to achieve this, but also to invest heavily in training people who are not all that educated, who are not all that used to the vain ways of what customers expect service people to conduct themselves with, and also to altogether package this together in something that is wholesome for the customer. I think it has been a very enlightening, for me at least, discussion. Thank you all very much for being part of this. Thank you. Over to you, Ivan.
Well, that concludes the Economic Times virtual roundtable on the theme Amplifying Your Company's Brand with Customer Service, powered by ServiceNow. A big thank you once again to all the members of this esteemed panel for taking time off from their busy schedules and sharing their valuable insights with us. I would also like to thank the moderator of this panel, TK Arun, former resident editor, Economic Times, for doing a wonderful job of moderating this panel in the 55 minutes or so. There were some great insights, but with such an esteemed panel, we could have gone on at least for another hour. But this was restricted to an hour, so I think we've packaged quite a bit in this 55 minutes to an hour. It was great to listen and learn from these bright minds and influential leaders and hear them talk about how one can transform organizations by amplifying their brand to achieve resilience and authenticity and help one reach the stage of customer delight. I'm sure we are leaving with some important takeaways. A big thank you to all of you for joining us at this session today, powered by ServiceNow. We look forward to seeing you all for more such sessions in future. This is your host, Ivan Rodrigues, signing off. Have a nice day. Stay safe.